أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف خلق الله سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وعلى من والاه. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على حبيب قلوبنا وعلى قرة أعيننا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Inshallah, we will continue our Tafseer for Surah Yusuf. This surah, as we said, was the only surah was revealed on the heart of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Aam al-Huzn, in the year of the death of Khadija, the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also his uncle Abu Talib. These two were the main two supporters for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that was a very harsh year for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given him this surah just to calm him down, just to tell him to wait, because no one is going to heaven without being tested. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the first verse of Surah Al-Ankabut, He said, Al-Ameen. أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون. Al-Ameen. They think that they can say that we are believers without being tested, without being in fitna. Fitna means a hard test even, not just a test. And the Prophet ﷺ, he had that test, and he had a lot of tests in Mecca or in Medina with his companions. 18 of them was killed only in Mecca, and a lot of them were killed in Medina. His friends, his family. Then his wife was accused. He was treated not in a good way in Al-Ta'if, also in Mecca. He had a lot of tests, and that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to tell him, tests mean purifying. Test doesn't mean that Allah is not happy with you. And when we look at the Prophet ﷺ, after he went to Al-Ta'if, they sent the mad people and the kids to throw the Prophet ﷺ with stones. And then he went to the tree after that, and he was bleeding. He said, إِن لَمْ يَكُنْ بِكَ عَلَيَّ غَضَبٌ فَلَا أُبَالِي. If you were not unsatisfied with me, I don't care. That's fine with me, if it is just a test. Let's go to the story of the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salatu wassalam. As we knew that Yusuf alayhi salatu wassalam, he had 10 brothers. They are not his brothers from his mother and his father. They are only just from his father, and they had envy for him. And you know the story. We have reached the point when they are trying now and planning to take Yusuf alayhi salatu wassalam out of his father's hands, and they want him to be killed or put in the well. And then Allah didn't say anything about the decision they made. He just said the following. He said, وَقَالُوا يَا أَبَانَا مَا لَكَ لَا تَأْمَنُونَ عَلَى يُوسُف وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَنَاصِحُونَ. They say, "Oh our father, why do you not entrust us with Joseph, while indeed we are to him sincere counselors?" Imagine, my brothers, that they are giving a really good, valid argument. They are telling their father, how can you not entrust us with our brother? This is a good point. Actually, if we don't know anything about the story, if we are not considering Yaqub as a prophet, we will say that Yaqub is making a mistake. How can he? He is bringing envy, we will say that. But it was just a reaction from Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam by his knowledge about his other sons, the 10 sons. And it is obvious for us now that he doesn't even trust his sons for their brother, their young brother. Just a small story. Once there was a man, a Sahabi, one of the best of the Sahaba. His name is Abu Dhar. He came to the Prophet ﷺ. He said, "Ya Rasulullah, what do you need? Oh, Messenger of Allah, make me one of the wula, the governors of one small state of the country." And then the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Ya Abu Dhar, innaka mru'un da'if." Oh Abu Dhar, you are a weak man. وَإِنَّهَا أَمَانَةٌ, and this is an amana. Amana means a trust. وَإِنَّهَا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ خِزْيٌ وَنَدَامٌ, and the day of judgment it will be a burden on your shoulders. The Prophet ﷺ, he rejected it, and he didn't, I don't want to say in trust, no, he didn't. But he said to Abu Dhar, don't accept that, or you are not eligible for that. He didn't hate Abu Dhar. And Yaqub ﷺ also, he didn't hate his 10 sons. But he knew that they are not good enough to take care of their brother. And they are not eligible to do that. And he thinks that if he leave Yusuf ﷺ with them, they might do something that will harm them before Yaqub ﷺ. Allah will protect Yaqub. But if you do something against the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who's going to protect you? The thing, my dear brothers, is that if we look at the script of the verse of the Quran in a shallow way, we will just think that Yaqub ﷺ is punishing the brothers of Yaqub. He is the sons of Yaqub. He is not. He is just trying to prevent the fitna. He is just trying to prevent a problem to happen. My dear brothers, this story has a lot of components. Yusuf, the prophet, the role model. Yaqub, the father, also the role model. The brothers, the evil side. And the surrounders, the king and the wife of the Aziz and the traders who took him and sold him. Let's focus on Yaqub ﷺ now. As a father, he was perfect. He tried. As a human being, he tried to stop the problem from happening. Unfortunately, sometimes some of us will act unconsciously to wait for the problem to happen, either to apply what they were thinking about or to blame others. The true Muslim, the true leader, the true father will try to prevent the problem, and that was Yaqub. That was Yaqub's behavior or what he did. قالوا يا أبانا ما لك لا تأمن. Why aren't you entrust us? It was from even a long time, from when he was even younger than that. He never trusted his sons above their brother because he knew that there would be a problem happening there. And that's a thing that Yaqub ﷺ is knowing even before the dream that Yusuf ﷺ had, that his brothers hate him. It might be an envy between the mothers or between the young child, the young baby. قالوا يا أبانا ما لك لا تأمن على يوسف وإنا له لناصحون. We will be a counselor. We will be someone who will protect him, someone who wants the good for him. And this is one of the words that we say in Arabic, كلمة حق أريد بها باطل. It is a word of truth. Everyone wants to protect. And if I say that I want to protect my brother Ali, everyone will agree with me. Right? But I might have a different intention. So, what is the procedure here? All of the ulama, most of the ulama, I'm not going to say all of the ulama of Muslims, they said that as a Muslims, we treat others based on only behaviors, not intentions. Yaqub ﷺ, he had a clue about the intentions of his brothers, right? But he didn't say anything about it. He said, no, you have a bad intention about your brother. No. He didn't do that. He just said, he just gave them like it's a very hard to translate. Contradict argument.
No, it's like
he tried to resolve the problem. He tried to tell them why he doesn't want. He didn't mention their intentions. Once Imam Shafi'i, he said, لَنَا اللَّهَ وَاللَّهُ يَتَوَلَّى السَّرَائِرَ. We will deal with others, we will judge others based on their behaviors. And Allah is the one who is in charge or will judge our intentions. There's a hadith. It is a weak hadith, but the definition of weak hadith is that this is a hadith that we are not 100% sure that the Prophet said it. He might said it. So in this weak hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, إِذَا رَأَيْتُمُ الرَّجُلَ يَرْتَادُ الْمَسَاجِدَ فَاشْهَدُوا لَهُ بِالْإِيمَانِ. If you saw someone comes to the masjid, he's a mu'min. Witness that he's a mu'min. Don't go to his intentions and say he's a munafiq. We can't. The Prophet ﷺ, he knew the munafiqeen. And his knowledge about the munafiqeen was just for him. Before he died, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he gave Hudayfa bin Yaman. He gave Hudayfa bin Yaman the names of the hypocrites, the munafiqeen. So the Muslims will not pray janazah for them. They will not bury them with the Muslims. But when they die, what about when they are Muslims? They are part of the story. They are part of the test. Right? Just a small story. We know Umar al-Khattab. Umar al-Khattab is one of the best Sahaba. Once he went to Hudayfa bin Yaman after the death of Prophet ﷺ. He said, "Oh Hudayfa, is my name mentioned between the munafiqeen?" Hudayfa said, "This is a secret. How can I tell you?" Umar said, "Billahi alayk, by Allah, just tell me, my name is there." Umar al-Khattab was afraid of being munafiq. Umar al-Khattab, he is the man who wasn't sleep at night because he was scared of wasting the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the day, he said, "I can't sleep because I'm the leader of the Muslims," when he was the Khalifa. He was one of the best, and the Prophet ﷺ once said, "لو كان النبي بعدي لكان عمر." If there was a prophet after me, he will be Umar. And he was always asking, "Am I a munafiq?" We should always ask ourselves this question, my dear brothers. That is something that to maintain our iman, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قالوا يا أبانا ما لك لا تأمنا على يوسف وإنا له لناصحون. A technical thing in this verse. قالوا يا أبانا ما لك لا. It's written تأمن. Okay, but it is spelled in two ways. The first one is something we call Raum. Raum is taking third of the haraka. It is something hard to catch, but it is like that. ما لك لا تأمننا على يوسف. It's very quick on the dhamma. تأمننا, very quick. The other one, which is a bit weird for us, which is Ishmam. Ishmam means to act by the lips, by the way of the dhamma, which is the original haraka of the letter. تأمنا على يوسف. Look, my dear brothers, how accurate Muslims were when they transferred the Quran for us. Third of the haraka wasn't missed. Third of the haraka wasn't missed. Once I was reading in front of my sheikh. So I was reading, and he said, "Oh my God, why are you doing that?" I said, "What I did?" So, he was, mashallah, he's a hafiz, of course, but he's a hafiz for the Quran in 10 recitations. Kubra and the Surah. He is an encyclopedia. He knows every number of the page. If I tell him, what is this verse, you say, okay, this is on the left side, page number, whatever, in the middle of the page. He said, "It doesn't rhyme well, it doesn't sound well." I said, "How should it sound?" He said, "You should give another quarter of the haraka." I said to myself, "Oh my God, sometimes we give an additional haraka and one My dear brothers, look how accurate are Muslims. Once I was doing the referencing for my thesis. So I was wondering, who is the first one who started the concept of referencing? Muslims. The first ummah who had reference. Who said it? Who told you? Ali will come to me and he will say, the Prophet ﷺ said, if someone comes to the masjid wearing socks, his salah is not accepted. The first question we will ask him is not, this is wrong. Who told you? Right? Because if we knew that the Prophet ﷺ said that, we will agree. وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَن يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ. We are not arguing with the Prophet ﷺ. We want to know, did the Prophet say that? And that's why, my dear brothers, we have to know that our history is a privilege for us. Our religion is a privilege for us. The first nation who had referencing, and the first nation who was asking, who? Who told you? What is the accuracy of this thing? Like, for example, once there was one of the, his name Al-Waqidi, one of the narrators of hadith. He was after in the Tabi'een. So I was hearing from our sheikh, he said, and Al-Waqidi is weak. Do you know why he's weak? He was sometimes forgetting. He's not a liar, but he might forget. So no, he is not someone whom we can't take hadith from. So accurate. Even third of the harakat wasn't missed. And this is something that we should be proud of. And there will be someone who have read 5, 10, 50 books, and he will come to us and he said, How we can make sure that Quran is from Allah? I think that Quran is not from Allah. Prove that Quran is from Allah. Until now, I haven't seen one respected scholar, Muslim or non-Muslim, who accused the Quran by the validity, the authenticity. No. They are accused, they say that Islam is violent, but no one has said ever. Even the most extreme Orientalists, no one of them. Quran is 100% as it came to the Prophet ﷺ. And if someone will say that the Prophet ﷺ brought it from his own mind, we will just write an encyclopedia for him. How did the Prophet ﷺ knew the stages of the baby's creation in his mother's womb? How he will know that about the tectonical plates? How he will know about the stages of the rain formulation in the sky? How he knew all of these scientific facts? And also, my dear brothers, a lot of things that happened in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. How he will do that? So we are 100% sure. It's just a story that came to my mind that when we are reciting the Quran, sometimes Ali might say, like for example, one of the Sahaba, let's forget about Ali because he made me late today. Yeah. So one of the Sahaba, his name is Abdullah ibn Umar. Abdullah ibn Umar. You know Abdullah ibn Umar. And one of the other Sahaba, Tabi'in, came to him. He said, I want to read Quran for you. He said, yeah, of course. He started, he said, إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين. And then Abdullah ibn Umar said, the Prophet ﷺ didn't teach me like that. He said, how did the Prophet ﷺ taught you? He said, he taught me, إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين. 100%. Just like the Prophet ﷺ was feet. Once there was one of the ulama, he was giving a talk, I think, I forgot where did I saw it, but he said, when you finish the ijazah or the sanad, you are reciting the Quran just like from the mouth of the Prophet ﷺ. Because your shaykh will not give you the ijazah unless you are reciting 100% like what he had done. If anyone wants to say that Islam is not adopting a scientific method, he should just stop because he needs to think and look and research on it. وقالوا يا أبانا ما لك لا تأمنا على يوسف وإنا له لناصحون. And then he said أرسله معنا غدا يرتع ويلعب وإنا له لحافظون. Send him with us tomorrow that he may eat well and play, and indeed we will be his guardians. Send him with us where in Ibn Kathir he said that send him with us because they were working as shepherds. But how we can make sure? How we know that? Ibn Kathir, Al-Tabari, and Al-Qurtubi, and some other like Tafseer, they were using something we call Al-Isra'iliyat. Okay? Al-Isra'iliyat is the narrations or the scripts from Banu Israel, from the Injil and the Torah, from the Bible and the Torah. So, what is the Islamic position or how Islam looks at these scripts? Once the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Hadithu an Bani Israel wala haraj." Narrate from Bani Israel, it's okay. So the ulama have made a rule out of this hadith. They said, if these narrates are along with, in line with Quran and Sunnah, then we will approve. This is true. If it was contradicting Quran and Sunnah, we will disagree with it. If it doesn't agree or disagree with the Quran and the Sunnah, then we can take it, but not as an evidence for anything. Something that can fill the story, complete the story only, but it doesn't make a reference for us. أرسله معنا غدا. Send him with us tomorrow. يرتع ويلعب. To sit, to eat, to have rest, and to play. So they gave him the whole picnic image that have play, that have sit. And the word يرتع means sit, have relax, and eat. وإنا له لحافظون. And we will protect him. Wait a minute, he didn't say anything about any harm happening to Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. But my dear brothers, they knew that their father is not entrusting them, right? So they are giving him, before he starts, they're giving him something that can break down his argument as a father. We have 10 recitations of Quran, 10 qira'at. In Warsh and Nafi', in the other narration, he said, أرسله معنا غدا يرتعي ويلعب. يرتعي, not يرتع ويلعب. So, one of us will ask now, he will say, these different narrations and these different qira'at, are they changing the meaning? No at all. It is mainly an accents. Like for example, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ وَمَا أَدْرَيْكَ. It is just like when I say water, water. It's just like that, mainly. There is something else, yeah, but we're not discussing now, inshallah. But mainly, my dear brothers, the qira'ah and the recitations are just to make it easier for people. One of the ulama, he wrote in one of the Shuruh Shatibiyya, he said, narrations were to make it easy for people. That's why the Prophet ﷺ, he was saying to the Jibreel alayhi salam, that إِنَّ ذَلِكَ يَشُقُّ عَلَى أُمَّتِي. When he was reading, he said that, bring me more ways of reciting, so it will be easier for people. It is hard for me, as an Arab, to speak in the Egyptian accent. It is a bit hard, and Sheikh can't speak my accent. So the Prophet ﷺ was asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he was asking Jibreel by Jibreel to give him more accents, more ways to recite, so it will be easier. We know that this is a kind of mercy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given us. My dear brothers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cares about someone who lives in the desert. He wants him to feel relaxed, to recite Quran by his own accent. Is this God wants you to go to the fire of hell? No. If he cares about your tongue, your accent, he wants you to be relaxed. Wallahi, he is a merciful God. أرسله معنا غدا يرتع ويلعب وإن له لحافظون. قال إني لا يحزنني. The next verse, قال إني لا يحزنني أن تذهبوا به وأخاف أن يأكله الذئب وأنتم عنه غافلون. Yaqub said, indeed, it saddens me, it makes me sad, that you should take him, and I fear that a wolf will eat him, or will eat him, while you are of him unaware. Yaqub said, and we know that in Ibn Kathir, he said that they were shepherds, so they took him with them, so he can just have fun. So we know, wherever there are sheep, there is a wolf, which is waiting for one of the sheep to go out of the pack. And Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, he knew that his brother will be by himself, because he knew that these kids or these sons will not look after their brother. They will not just sit with him and talk with him, they will be isolated from him. And if someone is isolated, he will be targeted. Once the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّمَا يَأْكُلُ الذِّئْبُ مِنَ الْغَنَمِ الْقَاصِيَةِ. The wolf eats the isolated sheep. The stray sheep. The sheep by itself. Subhanallah, the Prophet ﷺ told the Sahaba this hadith when in a context that stay together, be together, don't be separated. And Yaqub knew that there will not be one pack of people, they will not be together. And he was afraid about the one who strayed. My dear brothers, once the Prophet ﷺ, he said, الواحد شيطان والاثنان شيطانان والثلاثة ركب. If you were by yourself, there is a shaitan for you who is trying to take you. If you were two, there will be two shaitans. If you were three, you are a group. Even if you brought 100 shaitan, they will not be able to deviate these people. And the best thing that made Sahaba strong at that time, and they were as one group. Even after the death of Prophet ﷺ, they were one group. And the only concern that Yaqub ﷺ had here was if his sons will be separated into two groups. Yusuf by himself and the other 10. If they were together, nothing will happen. My dear brothers, maybe our families here in New Zealand or in this community are small. But back home, like for example, I knew someone who has 14 kids, another one who has 13, another one who has 11, 10, just like that. In that time, you will feel that there will be two families in one family, and that will be just a destruction for the house. You might now wonder, why are you talking about these things? Actually, this is the main point of these verses. How can a father maintain his family and gather his family? If you want to look for more information about these things, you can see Dr. Ahmed Nofel's book, في ظلال سورة يوسف. إضاءات في سورة يوسف. Yeah, إضاءات, which is hard to be translated. So this book will just explain this idea even in a better way. Do we have time?
Yes. What time is the azan?
7 minutes, 5 minutes to 8.
Only 5 minutes. Okay, so inshallah, only one verse. قالوا لئن أكله الذئب ونحن عصبة إنا إذا لخاسرون. And they said, if a wolf should eat him while we are a strong clan, indeed we would then be losers. We might think now that why they will put such an argument, that they will connect their failure that they will make with something, a deficiency in them. Right? They say, if we lost Yusuf, we are losers. You are losers because you are planning to lose Yusuf. You will leave him. But the thing is, my dear brothers, Ma'siyah is like a dam. If you break it, that's it. You don't care about anything else. The Prophet ﷺ, he said once that the Ma'siyah, the sin, for the believer is something heavy. But for the non-believer, it's just like a fly that stands on his nose, so he just will remove it. And then he will not even feel about it. And that's the thing, my dear brothers, that these guys now are in a situation that, okay, let him even say that we are losers. Let him even punish us, that's fine for us. And that is the thing that the Prophet ﷺ also was talking about when he said that if you do a lot of sins, then your heart will be كَمَثَلِ الْكُوزِ مُجَخِّيًا, like the cup that is upside down. If you put a lot of water in, it will go there and there, right? Because it's upside down. And that is the heart, like that. These guys are from now, their hearts are like كَمَثَلِ الْكُوزِ مُجَخِّيًا. They don't care. They don't care at all, my dear brothers, about their father or about the sin, about something in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think we will have to stop here now because we will start by the next chapter of the story. And you might look now and see that these verses are not so deep. Yeah. And the next page, and maybe the next 2 pages, will not be so deep. Deepness in Surah Yusuf will be at the end of the story. But why? Everything in our lives, my dear brothers, needs to be mature. We are still thinking, bringing the characters, right? Even the Prophet ﷺ, when he was teaching the Sahaba, he didn't teach them everything from the first month or year. Actually, fasting was prescribed on the Sahaba in the 2nd year of Hijrah. Zakah in the 2nd year of Hijrah. Jihad in the 1st year of Hijrah. Hijrah means after 13 years of the beginning of Islam. So leave everything to be mature. I'm not saying that now we have to stop doing something that is prescribed in Quran and Sunnah. No. But the thing is that all of our ideas, all of our way of thinking, and sometimes our ibadah needs to be matured. And that's why one of the Sahaba, he came to the Prophet, he was a newly Muslim. And he was a bit ignorant. He came to the Prophet and he said, a lot of things are in Islam. So what if I prayed 5 times and did zakah and siyam? Will I go to the Jannah? He said, the Prophet he said yes. In fact, in Sadaq, if he did that, he would go to the Jannah. But when he was talking about Abdullah ibn Umar, someone who is matured in Islam, he said, نعم رجل عبد الله لو كان يقوم الليل. Abdullah is an excellent man. If he was doing qiyam al-layl. Why the different standards? Because this is mature and this is not mature person. And this story is still not matured. Still not matured, still in the beginning. Okay, my dear brothers? So ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from these people who will learn from they will hear, and they will hear what will teach them, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to teach us more and more from His word. Jazakumullah khair. Is there any kind of question or even an addition from one of the brothers? Okay. Okay, Jazakumullah khair.